gentlemen, a little bit of information on this vehicle that's going to surprise quite a few of you out there. Some of you may have been following this for some time, and I'm happy to announce that this is not a concept car. This is an actual production model. It took us nearly 10 years to make, and it is finally here. So, Lexus came out a little over 20 years ago. 1989 was the first Lexus, the LS 400. And from that time on, we continued to develop Lexus vehicles, a little something for everyone. And behind closed doors, 10 years in the making, we came out with this. This is the LFA, the Lexus Fuji Apex. That's what it stands for. It's a Lexus. Fuji is where we tested the vehicle in Fujimoto Raceway in Japan. And Apex just simply means the top of the line or the pinnacle of anything achieved. And believe me when I tell you, this is the top of the line for the Lexus lineup. This is the first supercar in the Lexus lineup, and by far one of the most expensive. And here's why. Underneath the hood is our first V10 that we have ever produced in the history of the Lexus lineup. It is naturally aspirated. The displacement, 4.8 liters in design. I will definitely pop open the hood so you folks can see it. Here's the remarkable thing about this engine. There you go. First V10, 4.8 liters in design. Naturally aspirated. This engine is probably about the size of a small V8. And this engine, though it's a V10, probably weighs about as much as a V6. That's as much as the IS 3.5 liter, even though this is a 4.8 liter. So that tells you that this engine is really crammed, really tiny. It's an all aluminum block and it's hand built. And right out of the gate, it's going to produce 552 horsepower. And that's not turbocharged, that's not supercharged. This is a naturally aspirated engine. If you take a look here, we've got 2 oil caps here, 2 cold air intakes, 2 chimney stacks. There's a lot going on. And those 2 oil caps, that's because there's no oil pan on this. This is not a traditional oil pan. There's actually a dry sub pump system. So what that means is there's 2 pumps that continually pump oil exactly throughout the engine. Top speed, hopefully it's fast enough, 202 miles an hour. Has anybody hit it at 200 miles an hour? I certainly have not. 202 miles an hour is governed for this engine. If you want to do 0 to 60, you can in just 3.6 seconds. Pretty fast. Here's the part that gets really good. This engine will redline at 9,000 RPMs in just over 0.6 seconds. So just over half a second, it's doing 9,000 revolutions per minute. So again, that's telling me that this thing is really moving. After we handle the engine, Yamaha puts the engine and tunes it acoustically the way you would tune a piano to make it sound just like Formula One, because we were very inspired by Formula One. That's why we came out with this. The Formula One inspired engine, again, red lights at 9,000 RPMs, and whether you're doing 100, 160, or topping it out at 202 miles an hour, it will sound just like an F1 machine running down the road. It's pretty remarkable. Since I got the hood up, I'll show you this pattern, and this swing, this is called the swing bar, even the rod. 65% of this entire vehicle is made from that, carbon fiber. And it is all woven in-house. There are only 2 weaving looms in existence. It's about the size of this platform to weave the strands of carbon fiber. For you guys that want to stick around, I can actually punch it up on YouTube. It is absolutely incredible. It's a 3-dimensional loom that we had to create an event just to make this vehicle. And after the vehicle is woven in its raw form in all carbon fiber, we have to bake it in an oven called an autoclave. And let me tell you, this oven is about the size of that pillar. It is gargantuan, so it's pretty impressive. 65%, again, carbon fiber throughout the entire vehicle. At about 48 miles an hour, maybe 50 miles an hour, the back spoiler will pop up automatically. You can do it manually as well, but it will pop up automatically at about 48 to 50. And that's important because it will create an additional about 800 pounds of downforce in the back. Let me pop this down. And you can see how lightweight that is. That hood probably weighs 4 pounds or so, if that. So, about 800 pounds of downforce is created back here when this pops up. And since I'm back here, I'm going to point out these grills. This is actually done here for a reason, and it starts all the way in the front. This line right here channels the air. So you're doing 100, 120, let's say 180, very easily. Channels this air, and these fins right here help to push the air to the vehicle, and these massive scoops scoop it up, and it blows out the air here because the radiators are mounted in the back. So even though the engine is in the front, most radiators are mounted right in the front of the engine, right? Well, we decided to put the radiators, two of them, two small ones back here, one here and one here, as well as a 6-speed sequential gearbox. This is a rear-wheel drive system. It's an automatic, and you can certainly put it in the manual mode with the paddle shifters. But because of the rear transaxle, radiators, 12-volt battery, and the windshield washer fluid is back here. Because we were really concerned with the weight, 52% of the weight is back here, 48% of the weight is in the front, which is perfectly ideal because the center of gravity sits right about here, right on the driver's chest, shoulders, waist. And that is very important because this vehicle is capable of doing a 1G turn. And G certainly doesn't stand for grandma. But if you have a vehicle that can do a 1G turn, you're going to have special tires, right? So these are 20-inch tires, Potenzas, Z-rated. They're made by Bridgestone. And take a look at these braking systems. These are made by Brembos. And the rotors themselves are over 15 inches in diameter. I know some car tires, they're 14-inch tires. The rotors are 15.2 inches on this. And those are carbon ceramic pre-drilled brakes, disc rotors with the Brembos. You've got 6 pistons caliper in the front that are gripping the rotors, and 4 piston caliper in the back, gripping the rotors in the back. And the rotors in the back themselves are 14.6 inches, so it's massive stopping power. You can do 0 to 60 again at 3.6 seconds, and probably just as fast. You're going to get it right back down to 0 because of this incredible braking power. Take a look at the inside. You'll notice that carbon fiber pattern, and this entire cocoon or tub is made out of carbon fiber. It's right here, this where the door is pinned to, that is actually pinned straight to the carbon fiber. The tub, the cocoon, this, the A-pillar frame, 99% of all vehicles, this is made out of steel because at that given time, the steel is very strong and very indestructible. But we came up with a system where we wove the carbon fiber, and this is all pure carbon fiber right here. This is all woven versus the chopped and the layered right here in the tub. So quite a bit going on. Take a look at the seats. Those are race-inspired seats that hug and contour the body. Take a look at the pedals. Those pedals are forged out of a single plate of aluminum. So you've got a sheet of aluminum. They literally forge it right out of that plate of aluminum, and they hinge it from the bottom because that gives you kind of more of a performance style. And of course, it's got a faster response and the F1 inspired design. Steering column, like I mentioned, carbon fiber shaved off at the bottom to give you a faster response to come back to 0 degrees. That's just a little bit about the LFA or the Lexus Fuji Apex. Now, you're probably wondering how much. Well, before I get to that, we're only hand building 500 of these throughout the entire world, and we are never going to make another one ever again. I know there's a lot of great supercars out there. I don't have to name it, but I know there's a lot of great European supercars that do make amazing vehicles. For this one, only 500 are ever going to exist throughout the whole world. And out of the 500, only about a third are coming here to the United States. So that mathematically, you're looking at about 165, 170, give or take some. About a third. And that's it. So once the last one is built, we're going to break the mold, so to speak. And we're very committed to those 500 numbers. You can get this in 10 standard colors, 20 customizable colors. You can pick the finishes, 3 different finishes for the rims, 6 colors for the calipers, 12 different colors for the interior. The list goes on and on and on. There will never be, out of the 500, 2 Lexus Fuji Apex alike, ever. So it's going to be a pretty rare exclusive club. Price tag? $375,000. Starting, I know. Out of the 500, we're going to hand build 50 special edition Nürburgring LFAs. And they actually are an extra $70,000 more. So just start doing the math there, folks. Now, if you have a checkbook, come see me. We also accept cash. But if you just want the brochure on the Lexus Fuji Apex, let me know. I would be happy to send that out to you. I can actually send out a brochure on the LFA or any Lexus vehicle that you see here tonight. And that's what corporate sent us out here for. Cheryl is standing over there. She can send you out a brochure as well. But anything pertaining to the Lexus, come see us. That's why we're here. Once again, thank you for stopping by here at the New York International Auto Show. Love you.